right, so bit of a strange movie corner this week. Solo movie corner. Hi! Becca's at work and I went to see a horror movie that she did not want to see. It is so weird to hear my voice and no one else is doing these, but let's go. So I just got out of Night Swim, which Becca didn't want to see because water, and she can't do that. To be fair, neither can I, which is why I did it, because it's hard for me to find a horror movie that actually scares me. So when it deals with claustrophobia, like being stuck in a geographical loop or a time loop, or water, the three things that actually freak me out, I have to see it. So, start off with trigger warnings, like I like to do. Slight epilepsy warning, not like any flashing strobe, but there is a blinking pool light that is quite bright, and there are sequences where it is bright flashes into darkness. It's not very rapid, but it could potentially cause headaches, if not seizures, so please be mindful of that. Not really any gore for a horror movie, aside from like a couple bloated corpses. We'll get into that. But there is blood. Oh, and spoiler warning ahead. If you go further than this, it's your own fault. Child sacrifice. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, alright, so basically take a wishing well, mix it with a monkey's paw, and you kind of have this movie. So the basic premise is this family, mom, dad, two kids. Very basic setup. Dad is, or was at this point, also, sorry, steering wheel's in the way. It's as low as I can get it. And if I did the usual angle we do, you'd just be staring at an empty seat. So we're gonna live with it. Anyway, so dad is or was a professional baseball player, and he got sick. So they're kind of looking for, it was MS, I think. So other trigger warning for chronic illness. So they are looking for a place to stay. They are about to like rent this townhome that is close to his medical care and all that. They instead end up buying a house with a pool for water therapy. The water therapy is a little more than they bargained for. I really have to go spoiler heavy on this because I can't talk about it without saying the whole thing. So again, if you don't want spoilers, leave. Watch the movie now. Spoiler-free review. It's pretty decent. Go watch it. And now back to the spoilers. Again, it's your own fault if you keep watching and you didn't want spoilers. I've warned you like 5 times at this point. So they move into the house and things start to get weird. We've had before this, like we opened on a scene of the family that was in the house before. A mom, a little girl, and a little boy. The little boy is very sick, and the little girl drowns in the pool at night trying to get his toy boat that he lost. It's very ambiguous at that point in the movie. Was she pushed? Was she pulled? Did she fall? You don't quite see it. It's a weird jump cut. Like 1 second she's at the edge of the pool, the next second she's in it. And it's done very intentionally, so you have that ambiguity, and I did enjoy that little bit of framing. Okay, so jump back forward to present. The family that just moved in with the sick dad. They find out their pool is like fed by a spring, which I think I can still do hose-filled pools now, but if the second anyone says anything about a spring, I'm gonna nope the fuck out of there, like, and move to the fucking desert. Like, no. This movie was just so much nope. All of it. And weird shit starts to happen. He gets better. And the kids start seeing weird shit in the pool. The girl is... This is one of the issues I had. It's not really an issue per se. It's more of like, it felt like more setup than we needed for the payoff. Their girl, like, gets invited to join, the girl Izzy, the child, gets invited to join a swim team at school. She invites over the captain of the swim team, who she's, like, got a crush on. And she invites him over while the mom and dad are out at, like, a doctor's appointment or whatever. And they're playing Marco Polo. He gets out of the pool. And she is being lured into the deep end of the pool, where the spring comes from, by You don't see it at first, but I can only describe what you actually end up seeing as a waterlogged Danny DeVito zombie. And if you haven't seen it, that's going to sound like a weird statement. If you have seen it, you're going to agree with me. And she nearly dies, and like she is swimming and being pulled further down. And there's a shot where she turns back around and you see like what looks like thousands of feet away, the little square, like rectangle outline of the pool. Like, and that is about the point where I started squirming in my seat because all of all of it, I have a paranoid fear of drowning. So that is just, look, I have thalassophobia, submechanophobia, and fear of drowning. This movie was not a fucking good idea, but it was great. So she like nearly dies. The guy pulls her out and he's like, well, maybe you got your, foot stuck in the pool cleaner. Because that objectively makes a hell of a lot more sense than Danny DeVito zombie was trying to kill you. And the boy also ends up seeing, he actually sees before this, I am disjointed without Becca here to be structure. We both have ADHD. We balance each other out. Don't ask how that happens. Anyway, the boy's seen something before, and he saw the little girl who was in the house before, and he heard her name because she's still looking for her mom, who we find out later let her drown on purpose, because all of this weird shit is because that spring that feeds that pool is essentially a wishing well, but this wishing well doesn't want coins, it wants human flesh. Like, this is the point where I'm going to stop recapping play-by-play, and just go with vibes. Like, it starts off slow, but by the time shit happens, it's nonstop. Like, there is a scene where the dad nearly drowns a neighbor kid in the pool because he's, like, possessed by the fucking demons in the water. I think they were called Tamagami, something like that. Classic example of we're gonna use a clearly, like, Asian spirit-sounding name for an American horror movie. I did not look up if that's an actual thing. Do not know. I'm gonna look it up after the video. I just had to record this, but, like, it's... Yeah, so the spirits want human flesh, they've possessed the dad, and they're just trying to get a kid to drown at this point. They don't care which one. Alternate title for this movie very well could have been, Kids, this is why I had to shoot your father and move us to the desert. Like, that would have been my play. Like, halfway through this, like, nope, just fucking leave his ass to the house, you have fun with your murder pool, we're leaving and going to Arizona. Like, not fucking around with that. We ain't doing this shit. And specific actor call out, I need to look up the actress's name. The actress, so the mom of the current family goes to more or less interview the mom of the family with the girl who drowned just before them. And I really have to give this woman props for her performance. Like, the old lady who plays the mom of the girl who drowned, she is fucking terrifying. She is absolutely, like, convincing. Her performance draws you in. Becca, when you're putting this up, I'm gonna tell you this because I don't know if you're gonna watch the whole video. Put her name in the description or something. She was fantastic. Scariest part of the damn movie. Like, she was amazing. Give this woman an Oscar. Like, she had 2 minutes of screen time, and she carried the plot. She carried the exposition. I guess that's my only complaint, speaking of exposition, like, and it's not necessarily a complaint. This is more of a personal preference thing. I am an exposition girly. Like, give me all of the exposition. Give me all of the details on, like, the past 30 people who drowned here and all of that. Like, give me the background lore movie. I love that shit. I love it. I love the lore. It wasn't strictly necessary for this movie, and it may have made it drag, which possibly is why they left it out. It's just, again, personal preference. I enjoy it. So that's my one complaint. But that is, again, a personal nitpick, not necessarily anything against the movie itself. And, like, other overall notes, like, the dad is... He's not winning Father of the Year awards, and I'll leave it at that. Like, even at the end, he kind of, like... Major spoiler, he sacrifices himself because the water won't let them go without a sacrifice. because it nearly kills his youngest son. And like, I guess he's kind of redeemed at that point, but at that point I've watched him actively trying to kill his children, like prioritizing his fucking baseball career over his kids. Like recording his audition tape for his fucking agent over old home videos. Like, bro, I understand you were probably slightly possessed at that point, but dude, what? Like, what? That was just a little thing. You had to, like, it's a blink and you miss it hint there, but like, he clearly values his career over his family, and I don't think the water did anything more than pull to the surface what was already there. So yeah, he's not winning Father of the Year awards. Even with his redemption at the end, it's like, bitch, you deserve it at this point. Just get in the fucking water. Go. We're done with you. But this movie was like, it was not spectacular cinema. Like, this is not going to be winning any Oscars, much as I wish that one lady's performance would. But it wasn't bad. It was pretty damn good. If you go in expecting high cinema, as with most things, you're gonna be fucking disappointed. Like the people on Goodreads who expect every book to be great expectations. Like, y'all, chill. It is a YA fantasy novel. Anyway. You get what you pay for, and in this you're paying for what feels like a bit of an homage to 80s possession movies. And I got the vibe from that mostly because of the way the narrative is structured. It feels very like the slow build up to the batshit insane, to the supernatural elements, felt very classic horror. Not classic like classic, but like 80s, you know what I mean. The typeface they use in the title for Night Swim is absolutely straight off a 80s pulp horror novel, and I love that because those are my favorite kind of books. It was overall really good, like 10 out of 10, it would be a 10 out of 10, but I'm going to say 9 out of 10 just because I felt like a couple of parts of the story could have been explained a little better, maybe. Or maybe that's just me griping for more exposition where there doesn't need to be any. I take that with a grain of salt. I've put it out there that I like the exposition, so, you know, that is my personal thing. It was really good. I highly recommend it. If you have thalassophobia, fear of open water, submechanophobia, fear of submerged man-made objects, or just a fear of drowning, it will freak you out. But if you're weird as shit like I am, you will greatly enjoy it. So definitely go see it. Like, it was good. It was good. Go see it. The dad's a shit. The kids are awesome. And I would not be mad if they made a prequel movie to this with, like, more of the victims who had drowned, because there's one scene where it's the climax scene where the mom is saving the boy who's fallen, who's been dragged in, and, like, she's trying to save him from all of, like, the other water zombies, I guess I'll call them. So before, she'd been doing research, and you kind of saw some missing photos of people, and you see them a lot, not very clearly. It's back and forth shots and dark, but you can still kind of make out some of the people who you see in the missing photos, and I loved that. Like, yeah, again, I would not be mad if they made a movie, like, prequel just about that. Give me the prequel book. I don't care. Like, it was nice. I enjoyed it. It was a fun ride. And yeah, go see Night Swim. It was great.